Every high and crushing low taught me something invaluable: resilience. I began documenting my journey, recording every lesson and every step towards rebuilding my success and my mental, even if no one else was watching. I didn't know where this path would lead, but I had Frank, Rosario, and the memories of everything I built and lost fueling my determination. What you're about to see is my journey, the highs, the lows, and every moment in between, captured during a time when I was all alone but never defeated. I'm going to get back to being a millionaire. No matter what, I will make it.
It is Tuesday, August 15th. It has officially been 1 year, 1 month since I've done my vlog. Holy shit. I forgot to mention that last time. It's been a whole year now. That's so crazy. That is insane that it's been a year on this vlog series. You know how crazy that is for somebody to just keep vlogging every single month and like non-stop, like just keep vlogging no matter what? So I think this is insane just for like character development, but it's like, because I see myself as like the main character of this, I have to, right? But it's just one of those things where it's insane. Let me give you an update. One, I look like a mess. I still look good though, but I look like a mess. It is 98 degrees. It is hot as fuck out. I am basically just waiting in a parking lot for Uber or Shipped. Ooh, I gotta do my Ship shit too. I gotta set my schedule. So I'm gonna get into it. I'm gonna say what's been going on thus far. Maybe you can tell, maybe you can't, probably not, but you know, it's been good and it's been okay. Like I don't think there's really been, at least in the last couple of months, I think there hasn't really been like it hasn't been so like super bad, but it hasn't been like super good either, right? And so I'll explain all that stuff. So what is Bitcoin at really quick, so that way we can kind of go over those numbers really quick. Just turn off power mode for my phone. So we are looking at, if this thing can load up really quick, Bitcoin's kind of, you're going to notice the same kind of trend. So Bitcoin is at 29,172. It's been in the 29s for almost, let's just see really quick. Last 90 days, pretty much 28 to 29,000 for like the last, I want to say the whole year now. Almost half of the year. When did it get to 29? Yeah, almost half of the year. So since, let's just say March, all the way to about now, like it's been like in this zone of like, let's just say 25,000 all the way to 32, like in that zone. It hasn't shaken up, and probably hasn't shaken up since last year 2022, and it's never recovered. It hasn't recovered yet. So I think that's just fucking crazy as fuck. Let's go over some other stuff. Also, Ethereum is at 1,800. It hasn't been doing that great, but it's 1829. Sorry, I got the year or the all time on, so that's why the percentage looks all fucked. But okay, so what am I up to? There's a lot of good things. There's a lot of good things that I've been up to that are, I want to say, investments for the future. So I'll get started. I'll talk about construction. So in the last couple of weeks, I told you guys that I was supposed to get paid like $2,500 for a back half for the loan that I got Frank for, or not a loan, it was a grant for $25,000 for the business. He was supposed to pay me $5,000 of that, and he paid me $2,500 at the start, But later on, we were getting low on money, and I never asked him for the other 2,500. And so I asked him like a week or so back, and it was like one of those things where it was kind of like my mistake, but I was looking out for the business and not really caring about myself. And I should have probably just mentioned it earlier, so that way I got paid earlier. So it's kind of on my end that I basically fucked up there. And so now he's got to pay me when he can on this next check, which should be tomorrow. So we got that going, and we're basically just waiting on that to kind of fulfill. We've been waiting on this check. So by the way, this check we've been waiting on for almost a week and a half, by the way, as well. Like, he got everything done at one of the projects that we have, and it's just been chaos. It's just been hell to try to get this next check going when everything else has been going good. And so we've been waiting on that. Everything else is going good. I mean, a lot of just busy stuff, so I don't want to. The thing is, if we don't have any money, the way that this works is that if we don't have any cash in our bank account and if we're really low, I don't try to bring up anything because it doesn't make the situation better. So the last couple of weeks we've just been down to like pennies on the dollar and just kind of been like conserving our money and shit like that. But and I've been doing Uber and Amazon Flex to kind of make it for the time being. So that's the one thing that I really like this time around, is that I have a game plan even if things aren't working out. Like, I know how to, like, yesterday I just made like almost $94 in in 2 hours, or let's say within 2 hours I made about $92 or $93, something like that, which was really good. So we got that going for us, and yeah, hopefully I get the check tomorrow and then I'll be good. That's $3,000 that I should have coming to me tomorrow. So that's the goal, at least. And then I could pay rent, then I could pay my car insurance, and then we'll be good. Aside from the business, I mean, we're just keeping things rolling. We're still using Angie's leads. We've kind of cooled down off Angie's leads because, like I said, we have so much shit going still that we kind of I have to get like Frank on the ropes and say, hey, we still got to do this shit. Come on, like, let's go. So that's how it's been going for the last couple days. And then what else? Trying to think. And then I can go and talk about my venture in investing just briefly. It doesn't really. So if I have a Mexi account. I also manage a friend's Mexi account for her money and stuff like that. I think this will be important in the future. She's got a lot of money in there that she's letting me manage. I'm just letting it sit in an account in 2 investments that I think are gonna really pop off this year, and this year or next year, sorry. And so I'm basically just watching it and giving her updates, but I'm not moving shit. I've learned in the past from my gambling and stuff like that it's really not good to just keep on moving shit and betting on stuff. But on my own account, I think what I'm going to be doing is throw in $100 when I have it. $100, let's say every couple of weeks or whatever, and bet on the bottom, and bet $50, so half of that, on the bottom portion of a dip for the crypto that I'm looking at, which is Caspa, and trying to get that at a near bottom. That way when it goes up, I have like maybe a 50x or 75x long. It's a long shot, but if I can get that, you're talking about 75x. Now let's say that it goes up, let's just say 100x, right? Let's say it goes up 100x over the course of 2 years. But I have a 75x long. That means 75 and 100 is what? 7,000, right? I think it's 7,000. 75 times 100. Yeah, 7,500. So if I put $100 in, or sorry, $50 in on 7,500 long, I mean, you're talking about 300,000 more or less. Fucking crazy. Now, obviously, it wouldn't be that much. It'd probably be like 100,000 because you're doing your maths and stuff like that a little bit, But what I'm saying is, if it's sourced to the moon, I make 75 times what the percent of that gain is. So if it goes crazy, then I become rich just off of that. Off of $100 bet, because basically $100 on 75, you're playing with $7,500, which is crazy. And then if you divide that by 2, which would be the $50 bet, because what you do is you do $50 for the bet and $50 for the margin. The margin basically gives you room to expand. The reason why you want to have margin is because just in case it goes down or if it goes up, you have margin to cover those areas. And then once you start to see it go up, you can take your margin out and you can basically rebet. But I wouldn't do that. I would keep my margin just in case, or I would basically hedge a different position, take my margin out once I'm safe, and put in a different position that is also going up. So I think that would be the best way to go ahead and strategize and do this and make this move. That way I don't have to put down the same that basically my friend Rowena's doing and, just wait for it to go up. She's in a way safer position, by the way. But I can basically go ahead and make this bet and then just let it ride all the way up. So, yeah. What else? I'm trying to think what else, bro. I mean, there's not much else. It's just all been, just interesting stuff. Oh, I do have something else. So, I told you nothing but good things. So, I don't know if I mentioned it, but I'm just going to re-mention it again. About 2 or 3 weeks ago, I met this artist on Upwork. So that's usually the place I go to hire all my people. I use Fiverr sometimes if I need certain type of people. So usually I go on Fiverr if I need something to do with like, it's hard to explain. Fiverr, I usually look at both. But Fiverr usually gives me the best option for like the cheapest person and to see their examples. On Upwork, you really have to kind of sort people out, but you can still find quality people. So I use both of those services. It just so happens I use Upwork a lot more. And I found this amazing artist from Indonesia who just is so cool with everything that I've been writing, everything that we're doing together. Literally, and she or he, I still don't know. I haven't asked their actual gender, but they've been so kind and reasonable with the pricing. And I go and try to offer more money, and they're like, no, you don't have to do that. I'm like, but I want to. Your art is so good. And if the stuff that we're making becomes so, I'm about to cry, man. If the stuff that we're making becomes like one day like worldwide or like is seen by so many people, I will literally cry like I'm crying now, bro. Like, that is my dream. It's one of my dreams. One of my dreams is, overall, as a director, my dream is to have a story I've created go to the big screen or be seen by, millions of people and, get their thoughts on it. Be able to see how they interact with it. Maybe they understand the character, or maybe they have these theories about where all this stuff is gonna go. It's one of those things where I feel really, really passionate about the fact that the stuff that I'm creating, they're creating, and just as a group, we're all kind of creating together is so amazing. And the fact of the matter is, I made this when I was like, what's 10 years ago? 10 years ago would have put me at 18. I made this story at 17, 18 years old, you know? And it isn't until I'm 28 or 27 now, but let's just say this year in total, 28, I'm gonna be a mangaka, which means a artist slash writer of a manga, right? Usually it's just one person, but in this case, I really can't do this myself, even though I've tried hard. A lot of people like to say, "Oh, you could practice your art. You can just keep practicing and getting better." But the fact of the matter is, I know what I'm good at. No one needs to tell me that I'm good at certain things. In 3D, I'm really good at rendering and trying to figure things out as far as story goes and stuff like that. I'm good at writing as far as like the idea and concept, but I'm not a full-on artist, nor am I a full 3D art. I'm not a full anything. But you know what I am full something at? I'm a full-on director. I'm an idea man and I'm a director. So I don't know if it's the same thing, but I can talk my talk, I can visualize the story in my head, I can conceptualize animations just based off of songs and music. So if that isn't somebody who is like a director or has some kind of talent, that has to be talent. I don't know one person, and I've talked to many people, I don't know one person that can conceptualize scenes, movies, and stuff in their mind, unless all directors do this. I can see it all in my mind and happening and playing like a movie when I listen to some of these songs. I could tell whether it's going to look good or if it's going to look bad. I could change a shot in my head and say, you know what? Actually, let's pivot this way. And I direct everything in my head before it even comes on to paper or whatever. And so I don't think most people have that gift. And it's a gift, but it's not a gift. The reason why it's a gift is because being able to do that is great. But being able to put that to action and actually either find the people to make it a reality or to just conceptualize it, to put it into motion is the hardest part. You can have as many ideas as you want. Or like, for example, a rap artist, or, if you can't rap it, or if you can't sing it, but you can write it, it is so much harder because you can write all day long and still not be able to produce anything. It's one of those situations. And so even though I'm limited to a degree, all it is about finding the right type of people and making sure that it fits my budget. And, all this time I've been focusing probably in the wrong place. 3D is nice, but it's way too expensive. It is. It's way too expensive. You need at least 4 to 5 to 6 people to create something good in 3D. Whereas with art and drawing and manga, maybe you only need about 2 people. At the very least, you need 2 people. With animation, you need at least 4 people. You need a modeler, you need a rigger, you need a modeler, you need a rigging artist, you need a animator, and you need a writer / director, right? So it's 4 people that you need at minimum. Now, sometimes you can have just one person do everything. That's cool. But I'm not that person. I'm not. I can't. And so doing this is way better. Not only that, but I already have the structure in motion. I already have everything in motion. So I really should have done this when I had the money to. Honestly, it was a big mistake not to, but I don't know. Honestly, I don't know if I would have made the same contacts. Because the artist I have is so brilliant. I don't know if I would have made that same contact. I don't know. But I just feel like life takes you where you need to go. And it shows you the skills that you need to acquire before going to the next level. And I feel like this has been a whole looped around, everything has been a loop thus far. And, but it's been like in stages, like losing my money, losing my money in sheep, Then losing my money again, but in a project I trust. So like semi-trust, I guess, because it was like I lost my money once on something that I believed in, but also it was my fault. This was losing my money when I'm talking about is the NFT project. That was losing my money on somebody else's value, not my own, right? So in one case, I lost money because I was dumb. Second one was because I lost money because the people that I put my hope in were dumb. So what I'm being told on this third time is to, one, for me not to be dumb, and then two, not trust bad projects / people that have no clue what they're doing. Trust a project that actually has and proven itself as far as its capabilities and where it can go, and trust in that, and believe in myself to be more tempered and understand that if it goes to a certain amount or something, that I should take profit out so that way I can go ahead and clear debts and stuff like that, the stuff that I should have done, right? And so and with my manga, it's like early on I go ahead and conceptualize this with my buddy Sam, and we go ahead and make something great, and here I am trying to become an artist and all this other stuff, and then I learned that I don't want to be an artist, and me trying to figure out what I wanted to do with my life as far as a creative, and put all that stuff together, and then learn that instead of all this, my fundamental out of all this is just to see my story on screen, or see my story develop and be something. That was my ultimate. If you had to melt everything down, that's what it came to. And so learning that, that's when I went ahead and made the prologue for Hanako, which was the pilot test manga for Hanako. But after that, I realized, and maybe it was good that my artist kind of, got sick and didn't come back, because that pilot showed me, hey, this is a good path to go on, you should do this. But I wasn't listening. I wasn't really looking at it like that. I was looking at like, man, this is a failure. I put it on Amazon, it's a failure, no one even viewed it. But what I should have been looking at is, what? This is actually good. Like, if I made this better, it would only get better reviews, better motion, better, traction. And so for me, I was blind for the most part for a lot of this stuff, until looking back at it, you understand, you go through everything and you start to understand stuff, and you're like, wait, all this stuff was in front of me the entire time, and I wasn't listening. I wasn't biding my time to like research and look at all this stuff objectively. I was looking at it very emotionally at the time, with all the money and all the power I had. I just wasn't thinking clearly. And now, being at a level now where I've had to build back up to a degree, I really do feel like it's way better now, and I'm more focused and more clear than I've ever been. Now, I might not be as focused with 3D anymore, because I've learned that I need to do this first, right? I need to just handle this first, because if I do this and it turns into something big, then I can go ahead and start building traction, being able to pay my artists from, let's say, publishing fees or Patreons or whatever we have. If we can get a passive income each month, then we don't have to worry about anything. We just keep building and building and building and making the world of Hanako, or whatever we end up calling it, we make it great, and we succeed. And so I think, to summarize, the goal now is, especially with the manga, we want to finish up in the next 2 months, finish the one shot. And once the one shot is done, then we will go ahead and transcribe it. So we'll go ahead and have people, do it, or have either us, we're gonna make it English, then have people translate it to Japanese and probably Indonesian, just for my artists, because I feel like that would be very rewarding to have something in Indonesian that she can show, show for. So yeah, I think Indonesian, Japanese, and English would be probably even Spanish. Shit, I'll do all four if I need to. So doing that will probably just blow people's minds. And the fact is that I stick to traditional. I don't do colored manga. That's not traditional. Doing a color page is traditional, but the way that web comics are now is like they're very loosely lined. They have just a dabble or sprinkle of color in every single page and every single panel. I'm like, it's all digital art. I mean, I want something that feels like it's like it was like, like it was made for like traditionally, even though it isn't, but I want it to feel traditional. There's a difference there, right? Because it just feels more natural. It feels more rewarding if the art style matches what you expect from a regular manga. And so I don't know why my lighting got weird, but in the overview, I think that this is just going to turn out to be something very, very interesting. And you're seeing the process from start to finish. You're seeing where I'm diving into, what I'm getting my hands dirty in, and the whole shebang. And I think that it's a beautiful thing that I'm even doing this documentary, because it shows the entire process, from start to finish, my mindset from the very beginning of that totality, where I have to literally face in my mind the mental state of being broke, in a sense, broken down, all the way until now, where I'm like, you know what, it's not that bad anymore. I'm not doing amazing like I was, which still haunts me, but I'm not doing as bad as I used to be. And if anything, I've only grown, not only mentally, physically, and not financially yet, but it's still better, financially better, more sound, more understandable about my financial future and how to move forward without spending like $10,000 a month on just random useless shit. So that's the goal. That's the end plan. That's the end game. I'm super excited for the future, and there'll probably be an update in the next couple of weeks, because we start inking probably in a week and a half. So at the end of this month, it's going to be very interesting to see what I have to say about how that inking process is looking, because right now everything's looking amazing. But when it starts getting inked, oh my gosh, it's going to be fucking crazy. It is going to be insane. And so I can only imagine. So, peace.
Holy shit.
What? Crazy. So if you thought the video was good, please give it a like and share. It really helps. And don't forget to subscribe so you can see the rest of the story unfold. This project is so close to my heart, and your support keeps it going. Thanks so much. With that being said, I'll see you guys next time in the archives of a Shiba Millionaire.